Hello YouTube, this is a post-trial review of one of my big blades, Kershaw Outcast. I received it a couple of months ago, and since then I was very anxious to get it tested, and last weekend I did it, finally. Actually, I bought it as a replacement for my other big blade. This one, a custom-made knife by a good friend of mine some nearly 2 decades ago. And since then I had been using this blade for every hiking or canoeing trip I have had, and it had served well, but I thought that it's time for a new one, for another 10-inch blade, and I picked this Kershaw Outcast up for my hiking adventures. And as I said, I tested it out last weekend, and want to share with you my experience. Well, I thought how to continue this review, mentioning in the very starting with the new starting with good features of this knife, but I realized that I cannot go ahead with that and have to start with something which is not that nice, just because sooner or later you will see what has happened. While I holding this knife in my hands, you will notice what has happened in my during my last hiking trip. Well, and this is what happened. I was very unpleasantly surprised that this knife actually is not a full tang knife, and that the handle is just a rubber, a piece of rubber, and actually the lanyard hole is just a fake thing. I was trying to chop some bush, having the knife using the lanyard, and this is what happened. So that's the most unpleasant thing I have experienced with my gear for many hikes. So and now this is my Kershaw Outcast. Well, not as nice as it used to be, because I thought that it's a real full tang knife and that the lanyard will hold very firmly, but it didn't. To be honest, since I received this knife, I had some, well, to put it in a nice way, I had a couple of issues with it that didn't meet my expectations. One of the things is the grind of the blade. I am not sure if you are able to see it, but the edge of the blade has a very wide angle, which means that the knife is not very good for cutting. It's okay for chopping while you are using, if you are using kind of this part of the edge. This is what is usually used for chopping. It's okay, but I don't understand why this part here has not been grinded for a little bit narrower edge and edge angle, and thus making it more suitable for carving wood. Because one of my expectations regarding this knife was that I'm buying an all-around survival knife that would be suitable for most of the tasks in the woods. But so far I have discovered that this is only good for chopping wood. Even splitting the wood and batoning it is not as good as I expected, because as you can see, this area here flattens down, and it's not well, for batoning I would have preferred that the geometry of the blade had full thickness along the spine of the blade, and moreover, if I put the blade this way, maybe you can see that the spine has kind of secondary edge here. It's not sharpened, but still there is some flattening here. And when you are batoning on this part of the blade, well, it actually ruins the baton. Another thing, another issue that I had with this blade was that, as you can see, after just one trip, the coating of the blade goes away right here in this part, which is also not a very nice thing. But well, what I can say in favor of this knife is that is the handle, of course, apart from the very tip that fell off. The grip of the knife is pretty good, at least for my hands. It's very good. And actually, I was holding this when this part fell off. I was holding the knife like this. Sorry for this slight mess. I was holding it like this, just to make bigger leverage for the blade here, and it was pretty comfortable to keep this knife, to hold this knife in my hand. Well, that's seems that we are running out of time. Yeah, I think I made all the main points about it. Yes, maybe, yeah, I have a couple of things regarding the sheath, but they are not probably that important. So if you are interested about the sheath, then just yeah, let me know. Okay, thanks guys. Cheers.